Get my independent sign, declare it on the dotted line. Plant Philadelphia, freedom, rate, and patriotic voices sing. Red, white, blue, never give up. You represent America. Praying for a brighter day. I listen to my heart and I obey. How can I see it any other way? I'm looking out loud with my own eyes.
Wow, so much has happened in the past few years. The section of the South in 1861, who formed the Confederacy just before the inauguration of President Abraham Lincoln, brought a dispute between the North and the South to a boiling point.
But the war did not officially start until the attack on Fort Sumter. This battle between Confederate supporters in South Carolina and forces sent by Lincoln is what instigated the war. Many battles followed, including the First Battle of Bull Run, the Anaconda Plant, the Antietam, and the Second Battle of Bull Run, Fredericksburg, the Battle of Chancellorsville, Monitor versus Merrimack, the Battle of New Orleans, the Battle of Fort Henry, and the Battle of Fort Donelson. And these are only a handful.
Many heroes have risen up on both sides of the war. Some of the most notable on Union side are Ulysses S. Grant, George McClellan, Ambrose Burnside, and Joseph Hooker. And prominent figures on the Confederate side are Robert E. Lee and Thomas Jackson.
Well, perhaps we should go visit them and get a better picture of the war by going out to see the action.
It's time to see for ourselves just what is going on.
Jason.
Charles Wilkie, you're the man who intercepted the Confederate envoy to the Britons.
Yes, that's right. Twas me who did it. Those Confederates are a relentless bunch of begging at everyone's door for help. They sent their little Laird Rams over to Britain. Can you believe it? I can't either. They really believed Britain would grant them diplomatic recognition. The audacity.
Have there been any other cases where the Confederates have acted out against the Union?
Well, yes, I could say there has. For one thing, they attacked our ships with their disgrace of a warship, CSA Alabama. But not to worry, we took care of that when our USS Kearsarge took them out. But that wasn't our only mistake. They also tried to get 2 ships delivered to them from the UK, which delivery would have violated the Foreign Enlistment Act. But we sure got them good when President Lincoln announced the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes, we did.
That'll teach them to mess with the Union.
You have such interesting war intellect. Oh dear, I wish I know the half of it. I hate war. So much bloodshed and violence.
Now they have so many weapons, just multiple ways to kill each other. Bah!
What weapons to be exact?
Oh, well, we have lots of different weapons. We got the Smoothburst musket, the smoothbore brass gun, which is kind of like this one right here.
Oh.
We got the bayonet. We got the rifled musket, the rifled cannon, and the canisters, tin cans full of iron balls with propellant at one end and a wooden disc at the other, as well as the newest invention, grenades and revolvers. It's all really quite fantastic and has greatly changed the way the battlefield runs.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Charles.
Hey, sir, can I interview you real quick?
Well, I suppose so. Just make it quick, boy. I got me a water fight.
No way, you're Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, boy, that's me. Now, what do you want to ask me?
Oh, right. Well, I was curious. I just want to know how much you know about what's going on happening up north. Because now that the South has seceded, I was wondering how aware of you of the changes being made by Congress.
Well, I like to think of myself as pretty well informed, but go ahead, ask away.
What do you think about the Mortal Tariffs Act?
Well, let me think here. Congress replaced the tariff of 1857, which had protected Southern motives with that garbage to protect Northern industry. Please, everyone knows that cotton is king. They would never have been able to pass it if the South hadn't been pushed to the point of secession.
Yeah, a lot of things wouldn't have been able to happen if the South had never seceded, such as the election and re-election of Abe Lincoln, the Confiscation Acts, and the Emancipation Proclamation.
That's true. See, that's why we're fighting this war, to earn the respect and justice we deserve from the North.
Speaking of the war, have you heard of the NYC draft riots?
I believe I've heard of them, but go ahead and enlighten me.
The New York City draft riots are a result of the forced enlistment of the U.S. citizens. However, those wealthy enough to pay a $300 fee were exempted. Immigrants and poor people were forced to accept enlistment pull their money together in an attempt to avoid being drafted. Congress has drafted quotas for each state to meet, and if they weren't met, enlistment was expanded to more applicants.
It's just like the Union to do something so heartless.
Well, you are aware the Confederate Army's been required forced enlistment too, and it wasn't always fair either. The 3 conscriptions acts of the Confederacy exempted certain categories, most notable the planter class, and enrolling officers and local judges often practiced farmers' favoritism sometimes.
Yeah, well, we believe we have to take such measures, especially since the Union passed the 13th Amendment. They honestly thought that they'd get away with that, declaring all our slaves to be free. I thought that Lincoln was above that.
Well, you have to admit, Lincoln has done some pretty good stuff, such as Homestead Act, the Pacific Railway Act, habeas corpus, in which people are not allowed to be unlawfully detained. He enforced the Ex parte Milligan, which gave citizens more rights in court, and the Moral Land Grant Acts, which actually supported the encouragement of agriculture.
I suppose that all looks good from far away, but when you take a step closer, you will realize it's all a farce. The Union is nothing but bad news. Their only goal is to imprison the American people and make us all slaves to the government. If you ask me, those copperheads are the only Northerners with a lick of sense. The best option for the Union would be to listen to the copperheads and end this war immediately, or else suffer the consequences. Now, if you excuse me, I got me a war to attend to.
Yes, I'll leave you to it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Excuse me, can you tell me what your Red Cross means? Well, you asked the right person. I'm the one who created it.
Whoa, are you Claire Barton?
That's right. Well, anyways, it stands for the Red Cross organization, which helps to protect human life and health and to prevent and alleviate human suffering without any discrimination based on nationality, race, sex, religious beliefs, or political opinions.
That's amazing. Have you personally helped out behind the scenes of any battles so far?
Are you kidding? I was at every battle under the Grant's command, doing my part to support the Union Army.
Oh, what other battles were those to be exact?
Oh dear, there's so many. Well, most were held under the Overland Campaign, such as the Battle of the Wilderness, the Battle of Spotsylvania, the War of Attrition, and also Sherman's March to the Sea, which, let me tell you, I did not stand for. That much destruction is unnecessary. But perhaps the most important battle is yet to come. People are calling it the Battle of the Potomac's, which I believe will be the last battle fought between the two factions.
What makes you say that?
I'm sorry. I would
gosh.
love to stay and talk more, but I really must attend to my patients. Perhaps you should take this up with the general himself. I'm sure he can tell you all about it.
Oh, of course, I'll just do that. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
What is it, boy? A message from the Confederacy? How'd they finally surrender?
No, I'm afraid not, sir. Sorry.
Well, then what can I help you with?
I was told that you could tell me how the turning point in the war came about. Can you?
Oh, indeed I can. Well, it all started in the siege of Vicksburg when we crossed the Mississippi River and drove the Confederates back. Soon afterwards, we defeated Lee's attempt to invade the North in the Battle of Gettysburg. That was the bloodiest battle of the war, and we suffered many casualties, although in the end, we were victorious. On the last day of that terrible war, General George Pickett led his charge known as Pickett's Charge, but unfortunately for them, it was a futile attempt. Proof predicted their charge, and the Confederate never fully recovered their mentality after the failure. Pow! Pow! Pew! Pew! This war is to be over. The Potomac's battle has begun. I must go. My troops will be needed.